I work for Parcel Force, and I've benefited from the help that this fund offers directly. I've been asked to say a few words about how the trust has helped me, and what a difference it made in my life. About a year ago, I received a phone call from my wife's best friend, and she told me that she had picked the children up from school, and could I collect them from her house, because my wife was in hospital. And when I rang the hospital, I found out why. My wife had tried to commit suicide. She'd taken an overdose. I knew that things had gotten quite bad, and I knew that my wife was struggling with her mental health, but I didn't realise things had got quite that bad. So it was a bit of a shock, really. The next 6 months saw many, many more attempts, and the police would deliver her back to me in the middle of the night. They would collect her from the top of bridges and rescue her from burning cars and all sorts. It was a complete nightmare, and of course I had the difficult job of looking after my children and trying to look after my wife, though that was an impossible task, and trying to protect the children from any knowledge of what was going on, or certainly the severity of what was going on. It's an incredibly difficult time, and I was just put in almost an impossible situation. I certainly couldn't go to work during that period. I'm now back at work part-time, and my wife, thankfully, is fit and well and semi-recovered, really. But the fund stepped in, and really predominantly it was nice to know that somebody actually cared, because the benefits system didn't seem to care. They judged us pretty harshly, I have to say, and were quick to apply the benefits cap, which meant with me and my large family and my expensive rent and things like that, I wasn't going to get any help. And juggling all this finance during this period was just impossible, and obviously we fell behind on the rent, we fell behind on the utility bills, and we fell behind on some loan repayments as well. Only a matter of months before we got back on track financially, but during that time we were left in an impossible situation. We had to try and catch up with months of bills, with practically no money. And so it was suggested to me by my boss that I apply to the Rowland Hill Fund, and see if they could help, and they did. I had a very, very reassuring and supportive conversation with a number of members of staff. They assessed me, and they agreed to an amount that they were going to pay and towards the rent arrears and the utility bills, etc. And that was a massive, massive difference, and a huge relief, like a weight off my shoulders, because I had enough to be concerned about without the financial worries. As I say now, there's a decent ending to the story, because my kids are still happy and healthy as they always were, but my wife is in a good situation now, and I'm back at work part-time, also looking after the kids a little bit and supporting my wife. I can safely say that without the Rowland Hill Fund, without their help and support, things would have been a lot harder, and I may well be in a dire financial situation now without that support. So I really, really appreciate it, and and so does my wife, and we think that it's a great thing that you're doing.